Welcome to Click Connect. I'm your host, Craig. Season 10. We've got another first-time guest joining us today. But before I bring him out, I do want to thank our good friends at Red Roof Franchising for being our production partner on this show. Give Matt Hostetler a call. He'll hook you up with his development team. They'd love to talk to you about brand conversions, their extended stay product, their Red collection, their soft brand, and of course, their world famous economy brands as well. They're on fire right now and they're growing. They've got so many programs to help you out as a franchisee and an owner within the company. You're really going to be happy with those guys. So give Matt a call. Let him know that producer Danny and I sent you. And then one other bit of housekeeping. March 5th and 6th, 2025, the 8th annual California Lodging Investment Conference. We have moved to the Westin in Long Beach for the first time. Now, I'm very familiar with that hotel. We've done other events there, but this is the first time for CLIC 8 there, or for CLIC, I should say. So join us March 5th and 6th, 2025 at the Westin Long Beach. We're going to have a great event kicked off with our welcome reception on the 5th. Also, our hotel development deals of the year. If you've got an asset that's got deep renovations, repositioning, or ground up, you should submit it to Bruce Ford and myself. He is our chairman for our Hotel Development Deal of the Year Award. Also, we're going to have 2 Lifetime Achievement Awards on the 6th, but more about that a little later. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome a relatively new friend, but an industry leader, and he and his company are also sponsors of the California Lodging Investment Conference. I'm talking about Napolean Thomas of Tack Builders. Napoleon, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, life is good. The conference is coming together. I've got a chance to have a conversation with you today. It's all good. I've got nothing to complain about. How about you? How are you doing?
Hey, life is good, man. I'm very fortunate, very blessed. Have a wonderful career, family, and everything. So everything is good on my end. And, it's the end of the year, the holidays and everything. So very excited about that. And, in the future to come, and so that's a big thing.
I love it. Napoleon, would you do me a favor and please tell the audience about yourself and Tack Builders, please?
Yeah, so my name is Napolean Thomas. I am the Director of Business Development for Tack Builders. We are part of the Kojima Corporation, and we are one of the companies that is part of the Kojima family, which is a subsidiary to the Austin company. And we specialize as a general contractor in various market sectors, including hospitality. We also do industrial, we do life sciences, we do residential, we do adaptive reuse. Those are our core markets that we focus on primarily.
I love it. The adaptive reuse has got to be really exciting for you guys right now.
Yes, with the Olympics coming up, we definitely see there's definitely a growing need for adaptive reuse, and especially in the city of Los Angeles, where you have a housing shortage and everything, and even lodging shortage, especially for these events that are to come. So we're anticipating getting quite a few good opportunities come our way.
I think between the Olympics and we've got World Cup and a couple of other events. So really, Vancouver to the Mexican border, I think you're gonna have a lot of projects going on.
That's the goal. That's what we're striving for. So every day, that's what we're doing. Just getting out there, meeting owners and developers and consultants, and really showing, who we are and what we've done. And we've done quite a bit of work in the past. So we're excited about it. And also these new stadiums, that they're building for Clippers. And, obviously the Clipper Stadium's up, but now the Spark, a few other places too, which is going to require more of a need for lodging. So that's exciting as well.
Absolutely. What are you seeing out there for hotel development and commercial development, construction / construction for both? What are some of the things that you're seeing out there?
Well, there's definitely a growing need more for adaptive reuse in lieu of ground up construction. We're seeing that. There's a lot of projects that are on hold that are pending either permit, plan check, or things like that with the cities. And so, but we are getting opportunities, RFPs and budget requests and stuff like that, which we will do. And, we'll ask those questions on, with clients on what's more important in terms of the type of brand they want to use. If sometimes those owners may not have a brand yet,
Yeah.
we'll talk about, have those early discussions to figure that out too. So
I love that. Now, right brand adds about 25% of the value to the hotel. So that's a really intense conversation. And, depending on what you're building and the location, I've got to imagine those conversations are getting very complicated, very in depth. Just the brand requirements from, say, Wyndham, Hyatt, Marriott, Hilton, Choice, and so on,
right.
And full service, select service are dramatically different. So, how are those conversations going with you guys?
They are. I mean, they're ongoing, of course, and also you got to think about the city requirements too.
Yeah.
With those issues. I mean, those conversations are constantly ongoing, and we're trying to just figure out a way to best service the client and be able to meet their needs.
Yep, I agree with you on that.
That's the big thing. I mean, as far as value engineering options and things like that, we talk about those items. But the biggest thing we focus on, especially when it comes to hotels, is what the brand standards are, and based on the city and what those jurisdictions say that you can do, and try to figure out those little bugs and kinks in the design and work closely with the architects. But yeah, those conversations are all ongoing.
Yeah. Now, you had mentioned a phrase that sometimes has the hair on the back of the neck standing up: value engineering.
Yeah.
Now, that's not cheaping out on things. There's, a couple, three
Right.
different ways to get to that result. So,
Right.
what are some of those conversations like when you bring up value engineering to people, or they bring it up to you to try and cut the costs? How's that going?
Well, that always happens. They're primarily value engineering, but it has a different meaning for each different client. But the real value engineering you're going to find, typically in construction, is really your MEP systems. When you get to finishes and things like that, you're really just talking the difference in product type. If it's the similar look, but it's a product type, it's very hard to assess the value of a finished item versus when you get your mechanical, electrical, plumbing systems.
Yeah.
That's where your real value engineering comes in. And that's why it's so imperative, for owners and developers to really look at the value engineering tool only during pre-construction, and really use that opportunity to really figure out how that coincides with your hotel or whatever you're building, right? But when you get to construction, and a lot of people have a tendency to do it to try to cut costs, yeah, they may save some money, but what they also lose is the time. So if you have an interest rate of, let's say, $500,000 a month, and yeah, I valued engineering, I saved you 60,000, but I cost you a month in your schedule, that VE is nothing. Not only did you lose your time at that point, but now you didn't sacrifice the quality of what you originally selected, or what the design team selected that item to be. And so you run into a lot of that, and it could be challenging during the construction time, because we're really, really trying to push to even beat our schedule.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go too far off topic, but the value engineering is a very loosely used word, and I feel that for me, being in the industry, I've been in the industry over 18 years now, and I've been primarily working in operations and project management and things like that, and overseeing projects and schedules, and even working out in the field, running work as a super. It's you're really not, you're losing something. And a lot of times you may think, oh, I got a good value, but you may lose the time. And that's the most overlooked thing until the end of the job, when you look up and it's like, whoa, how come we went 3 months over? Well, you made all these changes. We told you that it's going to take this much time. And yeah, you saved money, but you really didn't.
Yeah. Well, and as a GC, you've got to hate change orders as much as the
Uh-huh.
developer does.
Yes.
'Cause it's time, money, delays,
Yes.
and this is why I like bringing everybody together on the front end of the project
Right.
before you start demolition. Before you put a shovel in the ground and get everybody on the same
Right.
page in weekly meetings. So is that helping you at all right now?
Not really. I mean, a lot of times, the change orders, well, there's various reasons for the change orders. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's owner driven change. Sometimes there is a constructability issue with the design that causes a change. Um, Sometimes you have a city that may have a certain way that they want to see things that may cause a change in the documents. But mostly, I 100% hate change orders because you have to go out and evaluate the change order. You have to vet it. That takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time to put those things together, and depending on the magnitude of the change. I mean, I have change orders as almost as much as $1 million before, because
Oh, God.
either, either the design just totally changed and not, the architect didn't have enough time to really put everything together based on the desired change from the ownership. So it's really, it really is dependent upon where it's coming from. But overall, we do not like change orders because it slows down the productivity, no matter which way you look at it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Now, owners, developers, they're having to navigate interest rates, construction costs. Some items have come down a little bit, but I don't think concrete, steel, various other items have really come down. I'm not sure about lumber, possibly. But how are these construction costs and the current lack of equity? How are you guys maneuvering? How are the owner developers maneuvering with this?
Well, right now, I mean, from when you look at the pandemic, the escalation has come down quite a bit since June 2022 to now.
Yeah.
Um, it's right now, and this is the thing I tell a lot of owners is that, the time to build in my mind is really this past year, because even with these interest rates going down, everybody's going to want to build at the same time. And so you're going to run into the same issue you had as the pandemic, where you're going to have supply chain issues. The demand gets high, the price goes up. And, depending on where you're getting your material from will determine the overall impacts of what that cost is going to look like if it's overseas procurement, depending on where it's coming from.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different anomalies there. And it's just, it could be very difficult in that sense.
I agree. And all this talk of tariffs, I mean, we get a lot of our lumber from Canada.
Yeah,
So, those prices are going to go up if these tariffs come to fruition.
right.
Now, I think part of the problem that really nobody's discussing, and I've brought it up a couple of times now, um, is qualified labor.
Right.
Okay. We've got, every state in the union has been affected by some form of a natural disaster,
Hmm.
storms, flooding, fires. I mean, you look at Lahaina, Maui, you look at Tampa Bay and various other areas. North Carolina is another one. Now, I've got to imagine that there are quite a bit of the labor force heading to these areas or already in place in these areas for natural disasters, trying to get these communities back together. How is that trying to set up a construction crew for a hotel, a multifamily building, an adaptive reuse
Hmm.
in San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Dallas, someplace that doesn't have these issues currently? What's
Right.
that
Well,
like?
I mean, you look at the labor, we have a massive labor shortage in Southern California, no
Yeah.
question. Another issue is the cost of living here in California is very, very high.
Yeah.
And so you have skilled labor that will go somewhere else that where the cost of living is much more reasonable. And that's part of the reason you have a shortage. But these other big places like New York, San Francisco, it's harder to sustain a living for the skilled labor people. So a lot of them are relocating to areas that are affordable.
Yeah.
And you look at the typical housing market here in Los Angeles, right? There's a housing shortage, just housing,
Right.
of about 500,000 homes, right? When you look at Orange County, you look at San Diego, they have an affordable housing shortage.
Yeah.
So a lot of those teachers and other skilled labor, or not even construction, they have to move out to the Inland Empire or other places
Yeah.
to be able to live, and they have to drive and commute to work. So the skilled labor is a major issue, and that's going to be even more so than the whole tariff thing. Once really everything starts kicking back into gear, which we anticipate there's going to be a lot of traction the first 2 quarters of next year.
I agree with you on that increase in the traction for Q1 and 2 of next year. And I think it's depending on a few other political things, but I think it could possibly go the entire year. And skilled labor is a big concern for me. And, obviously a company the size of Tack Builders and Kojima, huge concern for you guys.
Oh,
now, one thing that I've noticed is I'm seeing a lot of out-of-state license plates on construction trucks. I mean, I live in Newport Beach, and we've got a company down from Boise, Idaho, that is undergrounding cables. We've got another one from Arizona that's doing, the concrete replacement, and I'm going, wait a minute, and then I see all these other license plates from all over the place that, aren't California. And I'm going, okay, what's going on here?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's, there's some flooring companies that come from Canada, and they just go all the way through the US and they do installations for, certain projects. Right.
Yeah.
But they do that too as a cost savings measure.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's touch on timelines for both construction and FF&E.
Okay.
Are you seeing delays or longer timelines just on the construction side? And what are the lead times looking like now for ordering your FF&E and getting that installed? Is that also pushing out those deadlines?
Well, there's a couple of things. So a lot of the FF&E is contingent on where the owner's getting the material from.
Yeah.
So we typically coordinate with them early on. We actually work with the architect, because a lot of times there's shop drawings that have to be produced and everything else. And if it's overseas, there's a lot of coordination there that we have to make sure everything is reflective in the field as they are stated on those shop drawings prior to release of materials. We ran into a major issue during the pandemic because of all those containers, right, that was sitting out in the water.
Yeah, from Long Beach down to Newport Beach.
A lot of that material was on those boats, and so, I mean, I think overall, what's going to happen is it's really going to make us look internally as a country to say, what can we produce here in the U.S. to get us to where we have to go? If we're going to pay a premium to ship from Canada, what would it take to do it from an American, be produced in America?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the FF&E durations, we tend to coordinate really well with the owners on that stuff. And the only hiccup is if it's when it's being released in procurement, which we have no control over, especially if it's in the water. But our long lead items that we really look at a lot of is actually the generator, the switch gear, and all that stuff, because a lot of stuff has like 52-week lead times. So what we try to do is go in right away to say, okay, well, what size generator you got? Okay, you're going to need about 52 weeks. All right, so we need to order it and get a deposit right away.
Yeah.
That's why we try to get into some sort of pre-con agreement, or, get some sort of letter of intent, if you will, to get that material secured, so.
Absolutely. All right, my friend, are you ready to play our lightning round?
right, I'm ready.
All right. Word association. Producer Danny's going to put 2 minutes on the clock starting now. Favorite sport?
Basketball.
Corvette or Porsche?
Corvette.
Nice. Movie or play?
Play.
Very good.
I've done
Favorite band, group, duo, or solo artist?
Group.
Nice. Social media.
Facebook.
Aisle or window?
Aisle.
Streaming or cable?
Streaming.
Very good. Hotel lobby.
Hotel.
Lobby.
Oh, hotel.
Nice. Best restaurant in your city?
In my city.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Franks.
Oh, there you go. Vacation, international or U.S.?
International.
Very good. You did that with 55 seconds left. We've only had 5 people go over 2 minutes, and that's when they really started getting long-winded. So, so my friend, before we wrap this up, what 2 things do you want the audience to know about Tack Builders?
Okay, so 2 things about us.
Yeah.
We are truly a partner when we engage with an owner, and we are very, very adaptable to whatever needs to be done to get a job done. I think that, what separates us is that we're very personable too. So flexible and adaptable and personable is the 2 qualities I would say that really makes us stand out.
Love it. Love it. Okay. How about a shameless plug? How can people get a hold of you and get some more information on your company?
Yeah, so they can reach me at area code 323-840-4917. That's my direct cell number. And then my email address, if you need to get a hold of me or have any questions about any services, my email address is Napolean, it's spelled Napolean, Thomas, Thomas, at tackbuilders.com.
Wonderful. And you can meet Napolean at the 8th Annual California Lodging Investment Conference as well. And you can reach out to him on LinkedIn. My friend, thank you for joining the conversation. You've got an open invitation to come back anytime you want.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
What a great show. Give Napolean a call. Great guy, great company. And again, you can meet him on March 5th and 6th at the 8th Annual California Lodging Investment Conference. You can save $200 right now if you key in the word early and use that as a promo code, all uppercase. So join us. Register today. That promotion is going to go away soon, so don't lose out on that. Also, I would like to thank our good friend Matt Hostetler and the Hotel Development Franchise Team at Red Roof for being our production partner. Give Matthew a call. Let him know that producer Danny and I sent you. He'd love to hear from you. And as I'm fond of saying, be kind. Share your knowledge. Now go be amazing.